Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat. Better late than never. Thank you for your patience. Sorry for my late arrival. I had complete audio meltdown, and then the camera wouldn't work. But other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? Good times here at Shea Nagler Studios. But thank you so much for everybody sticking with me here in the comments, saying, "How long do we wait around for Nagler?" Well, I'm always efforting, people. I'm always efforting. Good to see everybody in the comments. Thanks for stopping by. Packers had their defensive assistant coaches paraded out in front of the media today. Of course, they weren't live streamed on Packers.com, though we did hear from Rich Bisaccia on the old Packers YouTube channel. Obviously, not a ton of newsworthy items, but it was good to see some notes from the assembled scribes there at 1265 Lombardi, giving us the lowdown on what was being discussed by the likes of Ryan Downard and company. But, like I said, not huge revelations, but it did get me thinking about the pairing of Jaire Alexander and Xavier McKinney and how that is a force to be reckoned with. Any opposing passing attack is going to have their hands full trying to come up with stuff to take advantage of whoever else is out on the field, because clearly that's going to be a pretty strong component of the Packers secondary. Um, I have little doubt that Jaire Alexander is chomping at the bit to get out there and kind of rewrite what some have started to maybe whisper and grumble about, either fans and or media. I've seen some folks talking about how he's not all in, etc. Although it did sound like he was in town a couple weeks before the offseason program even began and has been there every single day so far this offseason. So, like I said, starting to turn that narrative around. Jaire ready to, I think, reclaim the throne, so to speak, as one of, if not the best corner in the league, with Halfley calling the shots, allowing him to be a little more physical, a little more in your face. Not every single down. It's never going to be 100%. Just do this one thing, because you always have to keep opposing offenses on their toes. But I do think Jaire is going to look reborn, and having a teammate like McKinney there, most likely often playing that high post safety spot, to have your back, so to speak, it's probably going to give Jaire a feeling of, I can be a little bit more aggressive. I don't have to worry about whatever's happening behind me. I can trust the process, so to speak. You just look no further than that big play he made down in Dallas, which really swung that game as far as an early interception to set up the Packers in scoring position and really take control of the football game early on the road. Those are the types of plays that Jaire Alexander can make, and probably, I suspect, will be making with regularity once the season begins, because the man hasn't fallen off. I have zero doubt the drama, some of the narratives surrounding him last year have grown probably tiresome to his ears, and I suspect he's going to come out six guns a-blazing this season. And I, for one, am excited to see it. In other news, the Packers released, I guess, the information about the handoff from Detroit to Green Bay as far as the draft for 2025. There's an Olympic type football that stands in for like the torch in the Olympics that will be making its way across Lake Michigan. This is true. And then on its way up to Green Bay. And apparently the bike riding will be involved. I can't wait till they sell the corporate rights to that one. I will never, ever let this go, by the way. The fact that the Dream Drive is called the Dream Drive, named after an insurance company, this great organic tradition that began back in 1958, that was really part of the soul of the team, that now is just, another deliverable. It's depressing, man. I mean, it's still a great tradition. Don't get me wrong. You see the kids at training camp. It is fantastic. The players on the tiny bikes. It's all great. I love that aspect of it. Oh, but man, the selling of the idea is just the worst. And I love that in the press release they called it the cherished bike riding tradition. Yeah, so cherished that you couldn't wait to pimp it out. All right, I'm done. I promise I'm done. I'm an old man. Don't pay any attention to me. Although that might be hard since I'm the only one with a microphone right now. Hello to everybody in the comment section. Hope you're all doing well. Like I said, thanks so much for your patience. What's up, Charlie? Thanks for the super chat. Just finished Shogun. What was your favorite part? Want to watch something like it that isn't Game of Thrones? Any recommendations? Also, J-Lo getting 50 plus, or Jordan Love getting 50 plus a year. Charlie, a lot going on there. I'm going to save my recommendations for another stream. As I intimated earlier this offseason, I think I am going to try and start doing maybe a once a week kind of pop culture stream, non-football stuff where people can congregate and talk about this kind of thing. I'm not ready to talk about Shogun yet, just because I'm pretty sure lots of other folks, such as yourself, are still watching and or catching up, binging, whatever. So I don't want to give anything away, but we will be having those discussions later this offseason. I have been very vocal about how much I love the show, and I will leave it at that. Nick, how are you, man? Thanks for the super chat. Thoughts on signing Shaq Leonard if he plays? My thoughts are, I mean, I guess the idea of bringing in a veteran to a group that obviously is going to be populated with a lot of youth and experience, etc. I understand the thinking behind it, but I'd be very surprised if they outlaid any kind of free agency dollars for a old vet like that. That's just not in their wheelhouse. I think on the defensive side of the ball, you're going to see a lot of what we saw on the offensive side of the ball last year, as far as they're going to let those young guys play. They're going to let them take their lumps. You're going to expect the guys to develop and improve throughout the season. There's no reason to bring in a vet who's just going to take those reps away. You want to get those guys on the field, getting the experience they need as early and as often as possible, especially in training camp. And you bring in a vet, you're just limiting those opportunities. So, I mean, again, I'm not going to say never or it would never happen, but I'd be surprised. Luke, thanks for the super chat, man. Stoked to hear Jaire and X are hanging together. Love the secondary. RIP to a legend, Albini. Yes. Again, another topic for our pop culture stream, but no doubt, In Utero is one of my favorite albums of that time, and his handiwork is obviously all over it. His work with PJ Harvey, the man is an absolute legend, and it's a big loss. Nick, how are you? Thanks for the super chat. Random question of the day. Would you rather win a ring as a starter, non-QB, or head coach of the Packers? That's a really good question. Man, probably a ring as a starter. Just to play and contribute that way on the field to a championship team. Yeah, I think that's, to me, it's about the players. So yeah, I get the idea of being the head coach and calling the shots and being responsible for the team and the season and getting there and winning the playoff games, getting to the Super Bowl and winning it. I do not dismiss that or belittle it in any way, but man, to be a player, to contribute in any way, man, I don't know. That's hard for me that would be hard for me to pass up if the choice was truly on offer. Oh, here's a great one. She said, Joey, random Packer, Latroy Guyon. Don't ever forget his handful of snaps at the end of the NFC Championship game when he played guard down in Atlanta. What a moment that was. Absolutely incredible. Let's see. Let's see. Brandy, my daughter turns 11 and she wants a Packers jersey for her birthday. Huh. LOL. Get her a Bart Starr jersey. Tell her to appreciate the legends. They'll never leave. Unlike somebody on the team who she might get and then leaves in free agency or gets traded or whatever. You don't want that. Aaron, do you still physically go into LiveX? On occasion. I was in there for 3 days straight during the draft. But yes, I do. And in fact, I'm going to be there Monday. Tom, what's up, man? Yesterday, I finished Cliff Crystal's The Greatest Story in Sports cover to cover. What a great piece of work by him. 900 plus pages of Packers goodness. That book is an absolute masterpiece. And it's incredible that it got done at all. It's such an undertaking, and his painstaking attention to every conceivable detail and going back and reading the coverage from, those old 1920s newspapers to make sure that he's got things correct. It's absolutely outstanding. And I was somewhat miffed when because they had promoted it as, part of the 100-year anniversary celebration. And then he missed that deadline, but man, it's 100% worth it because that is an absolute, piece of treasure for every Packers fan. No doubt about it. Nick, what's up? Thanks for the super chat. Random Packer, Tootie Robbins. There you go. There you go. That's a good one. Chet, I have been asked this before. I will answer it again. Would you rather have Kenny Clark or Gilbert Brown? I love Kenny Clark. Somewhat dependent on scheme, but I would probably take Gilbert Brown. Gilbert Brown there's a play in the Super Bowl against the Patriots where he drops into coverage and covers Curtis Martin in the flat on an attempted screen by the Pats that just shows his athleticism and his ability as a fucking monster of a man to still get on his horse and make a play. I mean, he's in on that tackle. He was a different breed, man. And again, Kenny's one of my all-time favorites, but give me Gilbert Brown, man. Chris, what's up? Thanks for the super chat. Forever afraid to buy jerseys now. I purchased a Mets Alvarez jersey just for him to get injured with 4 days. No more. I am a curse. You sound like Corey. Corey used to talk about how he was a curse because I think he had like a Mike McKenzie jersey and then another one somebody left. And that's when he started going legends only. You got to do legends. Natty D, thanks for the super chat. Random Packer, John Crockett. Man, you know what's so funny? I literally just saw like the game where he got in and had a handful of carries, and he looked so good, man. He was like a little kind of, bam, out of the pocket. Like he had some acceleration. I forgot how good he looked, but it was not to be. It did not last. What else we got here, folks? Joey, what's up? I'd take BJ Raji. Well, he wasn't on offer, but love me some BJ Raji, no doubt. What's up, Joe? Random Packer Jack trash can full of dirt. Heflin, isn't he's still in the league somewhere, right? I thought I saw he got signed last year. I don't know. He might not still be on that team, but I know he did get picked up by someone at some point last season. Gareth asks, were you to buy the jersey of a current Packer, which would you buy, considering longevity, free agency, all that can go wrong, and it can't be QB1? Oh, it's easy. It'd be Jaire Alexander. No question about it. I mean, I absolutely adore John Money. No, and I understand people talking about, we might get traded. I think that's all nonsense. Yes, anything can go wrong. You never really know, but I mean, he is a core player for this team. The fact that they went through what they went through last year, including the suspension, and have come off on the other side, and he does look sound as rejuvenated as possible, and going to see him in a new light and a new defense. And they just paid the guy a couple years ago, so yeah, I think Jaire would be the one. But you all know I'm not really a jersey guy. Ryan, what's up, man? Do you think Green Bay will get 5 primetime games? Excellent question. With the imminent release of the schedule next Wednesday, which I will be covering here, so we'll all talk about it once it's released. Do I think they'll get 5 primetime games? I think there's a decent chance. I suspect it'll be somewhat like it kind of laid out last year, right? Like where there's a couple early and then they'll have several late that are easily kind of swapped or flexed if things go horribly wrong. That would be my guess. But 5 total? I'm going to go with 4. I'm going to put the over-under at 4. Let's say that. Chris, what's up? I don't know if he counts, but random Packer Johnny Jolly. Of course he counts. Johnny Jolly always counts. No doubt about it. Ooh, Todd's got a good one on Facebook. Random Packer Mike Mad Dog Douglas. Now there's an 80s baby right there. Let's go. Now we're talking. Charlie, thanks for the super chat. Remember Snacks Harrison and Wilkerson? What a time. Remember how Gutekunst tried for 2 years to get Snacks on the team, and then he finally did. And I think he had one game where he maybe got 12 to 13 snaps, and then after that he couldn't get back on the field for more than a handful. It was just so apparent that he was done. If they could have gotten him earlier, if they could have gotten him when Brian first wanted him, they'd have been cooking with gas. That's annoying as hell, no doubt. Antonio Freeman isn't random, just my favorite. Higher Coop, that is completely acceptable. I understand where you're coming from. And you're right. He's not really, you can't really call Antonio Freeman a random Packer. But he was damn good. He helped them win a championship. Aaron Harper, do you want them to sign Jordan Love to a 10-year deal like Kansas City did with Mahomes? Do I want them to? I think it'd be great because I think it really favors the team. I'd be absolutely shocked if Athletes First, who represent Jordan Love and David Mulgeta, who has a number of really big-time clients in the league, I'd be absolutely shocked if they went that route, if they would even entertain that conversation. But hey, man, I've been surprised before. But yeah, I can't imagine that the player side would agree to that. Vex, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're well. Remember the Jeff Saturday abomination? Pain. Facts. I mean, the crazy thing about the Jeff Saturday thing is like Jeff Saturday came in, lost his job to Evan Dietrich Smith, and then still started in the Pro Bowl as a member of the Green Bay Packers. Don't ever forget he, had the kind of stretch there where he switched over and played for the AFC so he could play with Peyton Manning one last time. That really tells you all you need to know about how useless the Pro Bowl is. But yeah, Jeff Saturday, Pro Bowler with the Green Bay Packers. Joey, what's up, man? What's your favorite Wayne Larrivee call? Ooh, that's a good question. Favorite Wayne Larrivee call? You mean other than when he absolutely roasted me on the radio? You mean a Packers game call, right? I'll go with. I don't know, man. It's tough. It's recent, so I know it's probably somewhat recency bias here, but his whole kind of soliloquy when the Packers wrapped up the game against the Bears at the end of the season and in the final game, that was pretty special. I also love his call that Larry kind of steps over a little bit by misnaming Randall Cobb, but the one down in Chicago where Rodgers finds Cobb for the touchdown to win it and the division or getting them in the playoffs, like that's pretty great. That one's pretty dope. What else we got? Richard, that's a Rich Harris. That's a good one. Dreadlocks in his wake. That's a classic. Carrie, what's up? Nags, do you think the new Packers will embrace beating the Bears thing that we have? Can't wait for that this year. I mean, they'll get into it once we beat them. That's what it's about, right? I mean, Preston Smith loves talking about how he ain't never lost to the Bears between his time in Washington and Green Bay, which is insane to think about. But yeah, I'm sure guys that have been here will get up for it, and it won't take long for the youngsters to appreciate the rivalry and the fact that Green Bay has been so dominant. And the thing is, I suspect there's going to be so much kind of energy in that game, mostly because it will be coming from the Bears side, right? I mean, you already have guys talking about how they're sick of losing to Green Bay, and it's only some of them only been there a handful of games. So I do think it's going to be an intense game. Both of those games will be intense games. And yeah, I think the young guys will be up for it. I have little doubt about that. Vex, thanks again, man. We have some of the best sports announcers in the business in Wayne and Larry. I feel so honored watching and listening to them for so long. They are, absolutely, no question about it. And the fact that I get to talk to Wayne every week on the radio is kind of mind blowing to me because I have been listening to him for so long and he is so good at his job. He is truly, truly one of the best in the nation. There's zero doubt about that. And the fact that they took over for Jim and Max, who, I mean, that's the gold standard for me. And there's, been this kind of long stretch of just excellence in the radio booth for the Packers. That's pretty damn good. I mean, not only do they find quarterbacks, they find radio teams. No doubt. No question about it. The fourth down TD Bears call where Rock steps all over Larrivee. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. It's just it's an all-time classic. Mr. Tundra, what's up? Jim and Max were the cream of the crop. Yes, they were. That's what Wayne was making fun of me for because I do go back and listen to old Jim and Max games because I just love that feeling of having them on the call. Anytime you see any of the highlights from '96 and you hear Jim Irwin's voice with a play-by-play and then Max with a kind of an aside is just outstanding. I mean, you just talk about instantly transporting yourself to a moment, right? And the fact that the Packers had been so bad when I was a kid, now they were coming up, and Jim and Max were part of that journey, right? Just the best, just the absolute best. What else we got here? Max and his take almost got him canned. I know what you're talking about. It was a different time, sir. It was a different time. What's the title of the upcoming Motel Men album? Burning Down Wonderland. That is the name. It will be out this summer. We'll be having a release party here in New York. If you're in the area, hope you'll stop by. All right, buddy. I have to get going. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family, Cheesehead TV. We are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Truly, thank you so much for your patience. I'm so sorry I was so late due to some technical issues. Appreciate you guys hanging around. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Go Pack Go.